Crusaders.
To our live
Yeah.
I'm Katie, your community manager.
I'm Noah Ward, the lead game designer.
And Nathan is not here this week.
It says senior. I'm the lead these days.
Oh, well, that's my bad, actually.
Oh, it's your bad.
But senior's so
You
much
didn't know?
better.
Is it? But
well, I just promoted
make
you.
me senior lead. No,
Oh.
lead is better than senior.
Lead is better than senior?
Yeah,
Oh.
senior just means old.
Well, then you've been demoted. I'm
Call
sorry.
me old.
Anyways, yeah, so Nathan is not here today, but
No.
we have actually a lot of stuff to go over, so we could pull up the schedule.
It's true.
So all of the lists that you guys have been contributing to on the forums over the past 2 weeks,
We will
3
read
weeks,
them to you.
we're going to read them to you.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll do giveaways at the end of the show as well, or throughout, or whenever I feel like it, because I can. So
I want to know, are we going to talk about our studio audience, or is it not?
yeah. Okay, so what do we want to say?
I don't know.
So we have our live audience.
Yeah,
in
usually
the
it
TV.
says, like, when a show's got a studio audience,
Yeah.
it says it.
Right.
But yeah, so
we are
we
joined
have
by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 high school students, right?
future streamers, I suppose.
Yes.
Future, yeah, broadcasters.
You guys want to clap or cheer? Or do
Yeah,
something?
make some.
There we go.
It's real. Yeah.
Yeah, so they've come to the studio today for a tour, and they're sitting in on our show to see how live streams work, and yeah.
And to get all the Warhammer leaks, because that's what everybody wants.
Of course.
That's what.
So I guess we can start on the lists. It's up to you, Noah, what you want to start with.
We're reading the list, right?
Reading
we
the list.
didn't make fancy graphics for the list. Okay, sure.
But last week you guys went over the other top 5 lists.
Yes.
So basically this time we can go over like the points. We assign points to every suggestion and how many times it was mentioned. So that's how we do like our weighting system.
Yeah. Except number 4 and 5 seem like they're flip-flop, but that's just... Yeah.
This one?
Let's see here. Wait, this one's 20 points?
Oh, and this one's
then
21?
there's 21 points?
Well, we're going to fire our customer support team.
No,
No?
I like those guys. We're not going to fire them.
But yeah, shout out to them. I don't know if they're watching for compiling all of the data for us because they've spent hours doing this. So
Yeah,
amazing.
much appreciated stuff. So just going to get right into it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the top 5, not melee versus ranged because we already did that last week.
Yeah.
So the first one is balance axes, mauls, and fist claws.
Right. So people don't feel like the axes and mauls are worth taking over the other weapons. They do cause a short stagger when you do strong attack. So that is one thing that makes them different from, say, a chainsword or a knife. But maybe that's not enough. So Chan and I were discussing if we would increase the durability or the durability damage, the damage caused when you clang. Because when you clang, it doesn't necessarily feel that great anyway. Like you don't feel like you won when you hit it. You feel like, oh, let's see if I clang again, and you just kind of keep going through that. And so if you would have a stronger weapon or a heavier weapon, it feels like you should get something out of a clang against a lighter weapon. So we talked about doing that.
I still want my knife to be improved. Just
Improved?
saying. It's like a butter knife.
The
I'm
combat knife.
I'm sorry. It is.
We're trying to get melee better, not
I know.
like
But can we turn it into like a machete?
Katie's part of the problem. That's the thing.
So,
Better
you're good for that
than
one?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for interest's sake, it was 41 points, so it was the highest, and it was mentioned 12 times.
Yeah, and I don't even know, does everybody know that they short stagger? I guess we can ask the chat, but yeah, they do cause a stagger when you heavy attack people, but yeah, but we'll look into maybe buffing them further.
Cool. Good? Okay, so the second one was sprint attack mechanics. It was mentioned 7 times and had 24 points.
So yeah, that's kind of been an ongoing thing that people bring up. Each weapon is different, so if people could like come forward with which weapons they feel are the worst offenders in not being able to pull off sprint attacks, that would be really helpful for us, because if we don't have people telling us which weapons they feel like are worse, we just have to go through everything basically, and I don't know, it's really about tuning and polishing, and it goes into the animation system, and like you guys know, Chan and I aren't the most pro at the animation system, So it's a lot of digging through the montages.
There was actually a comment about the first one.
Oh yeah.
From Corey 1995. He said, "Forget the knife, give me an electrified spoon instead."
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah, that's for you or for him?
Well, for all of us.
Everybody gets electrified spoons.
Spoons for everyone.
Okay. Would it be rusty? A chaos?
Well, the other end would have to be, because you would stab them first with the rusty, like, non-tetanus shot end, and then you scoop.
Katie likes gore, you guys, so just in case you gotta...
Work on a very violent game, you kind of have to.
yeah, so...
Yes, see, they like the rusty spoon. Beautiful.
Okay, rusty spoon.
Totally interrupted you.
No, it's fine. Yeah.
Good? Okay, so the third one was the D-Bash stun, mentioned 6 times and 22 points.
Yeah, so I mentioned on Discord, but of course there was no forum post or Steam post about it, but we have lowered the stun from the long to the short on all of the knives and blades, which I think is the thing that people disliked about the D-Bash stun so much, is mostly the combination of doing a D-Bash and then somebody rolls back and headshots you a bunch of times while you're stunned. So for the ranged guys, their D-Bash is not going to stun as long as it did before. So hopefully that moves us in a good direction, and we'll see if more is needed from that, but we think that's going to be a good change.
Cool. Sorry, I was distracted. We were talking about how I'm going to end up in the loony bin. Okay, so the fourth one is the Power Fist, Power Claw, and attack speeds, mentioned 6 times and 20 points.
Yeah, so that one's going to be a little bit tougher because the claws and fists have a pretty slow attack speed, and if we would speed it up to the point where you would clang, because that's what they were saying in the more notes we have here, that they want to be able to clang properly against the fast attack of other weapons, but it might just look really silly with those big slow fists if we would try to speed up the animation. So we're not sure that's going to be possible to accommodate the request. We can look into speeding it up, but having it speed up to the point where you would continuously clang off a knife or something like that is maybe not gonna. It might just look bad, but we will look into it and see if it's going to be possible.
Cool. So number 5 was remove clang when hitting environment and vehicles.
Yeah, so actually Chan and I talked about that this morning, and we do kind of agree. So that mechanic, if any of you guys have played Dark Souls, it is definitely kind of pulled straight from Dark Souls, but Dark Souls has a lot of different types of weapons and different, you have like longer pole arms and you have shorter rapiers, and then you sort of choose your weapon based on how you want to fight, and if you're going to fight in hallways, you're going to not take a really long melee weapon, and our selection of weapons doesn't really lend itself to that trade-off, and it just sort of tends to be annoying when you clang off a wall or a building. So it's not a thing that's in data, so we need a programmer to help us out, but we're going to check it out, and I don't know exactly what we'll do, if we'll remove it completely or try to come up with something that looks nice, because just removing it, having you whiff through what should be a solid surface might not look great, but the thing where you clack against the wall and then you stumble back and you look like a dummy is something we'll probably
but some of them, there's like a 50-50 split almost of people that like it and don't. So is it something that we could have in the settings?
Well, I think the people who like it are the people who back up against the wall and try to get people to, and I'm not even sure how much it will change the actual balance of the game and the gameplay, or if it will just sort of remove no, hold on a second. We do have a programmer. Yeah. Chan and I were talking about how we would change it, and we don't think as game designers we can do it, so we will have to ask a programmer to help us. That was not that we have no programmer.
Don't worry, Nathan is not coding the game.
yeah. So
cool. So we had honorable mentions added. So the first one was heavier weapons in a clang should deal weapon damage to the weaker weapon.
Yeah, I don't know. So these are sort of, both of the clang sort of things are. We were wondering, because Clang comes up a lot, and you know people are like, you know, all sorts of suggestions. Should we remove Clang, or what kind of damage it should do? And we will continue to look into it. The other thing here that it should, people wanted it to deal damage directly to players, which is sort of, that just means you're going to spam like fast attack or something and continue to Clang and kind of ride it out and eventually do damage. But Chan has started to figure out how the system works for the damage, the durability damage and whatnot, and so we're going to start tuning that and
cool.
hopefully make it feel a bit better. So
okay, so now we're going to move to the top 10 list.
Okay.
It's like all lists today.
Yeah. I didn't write any notes for this top 10 list, but I read them all beforehand, so that I'm not surprised by that.
Cool. So the first one is new game modes. No surprise. Mentioned 53 times and had 408 points.
So that's a tricky one, because to do it right takes a lot of people. Like to actually change a map so that it fits with a new game mode. That means level designers and artists and UI and, like, you know, maybe even gameplay programmers. Other types of things might be easier for us to do, but it's there's also the question of, is it better for the game or not? Like when you think of a mode like deathmatch, we've got a certain meta, and the whole game's been balanced around capture points and supporting the classes that can cap. And then if it would change to like pure deathmatch, then the meta completely changes, and people just go for sort of damage, and a lot of the classes become less useful than they were before. So we need to look carefully about what game modes we would add. One of the ones that's been suggested that I quite like is sort of the map with no game mode, the open sandbox map. But the reason we've waited to put that in is because we want the personal goals to be in, or the objective system, so that you can have some stuff to do. Because if it would just be an open map, it would you need a little bit of a direction, I think. So that's something we're.
It'd be fun for like 5 minutes, and they'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah. But once there's some objectives in there that you can accomplish, then it's a bit more fun, I think. So.
All right. The second one is new maps. No surprise for that one either. Mentioned 47 times and 367 points.
Yeah. So new maps are expensive because they take a lot of people and a lot of time. So I don't know. I've been looking at different aspects of our current maps and sort of tuning stuff. Like Agnathio got an extra entrance on the side. I've been moving some spawn points around and kind of fixing up the maps we have. I was talking to some players about doing perhaps flipping the capture points around on on Magon or Zedek or something. So you start from where the defenders start as the attackers are doing stuff to kind of improve like the interest or change things up a little bit without going into the hundreds of thousands or $500,000 investment that like an entire new map would take.
So we had talked a lot about the tank map before. What can we say about the status of that? Because that was the next map.
Well, so that was the next like full new different map that was underway, but we wanted to have more features with the vehicles in by the time that came in, and
one of the systems that we need.
Yeah, one of the systems that we need. So we haven't brought that map in yet because we were wanting to be able to change, say, the weapons on your Predator or whatnot first.
So not scrapped, but also just not in the works right now.
Right. Yeah, it's still there.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so the third one, guild features, mentioned 38 times.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see more guild features as well.
We all want
guild features. Of course, it's everybody knows UI is one of our bigger bottlenecks.
Yeah.
And so guild features is mostly UI related. Just having the list of your guildmates to be able to offer them to come to your war party. That's like I think my top guild feature, and I think it's one of the more doable ones as well. So I would like to do that. The other stuff is a little bit, I think, far off for us, but we agree. Guild features are definitely a high one on the priority list.
Okay. Number 4, more visual customization and cosmetics, mentioned 22 times.
So you guys like me and my item mines. Yeah, we need...
They want all your stuff.
Yeah,
yes.
We definitely need more, and I agree. So I don't have anything really to say other than, we should continue to put those things in there.
Okay. Number 5 was matchmaker balance. We hear that all the time.
Yeah, so like last weekend we did some testing on changing the amount of players who start in the match, but there's also I have a couple tasks on the tech guys that I'd like to do to fix some things. So we have a theory. I think it's a pretty solid theory that one of the main reasons that matches start like heavily imbalanced, like they do, is because you've got larger war parties who were in a previous round. The round ends and you get auto-queued, and you just queue into the next one.
Yeah.
The matchmaker says, oh, look, all these people want to have another match. It puts you in there and starts you queuing, and it's before that part where you can see in the scoreboard who's disconnected. The match is already made, and people can quit out of that queue. And so if you had 5 people in a war party and they quit out of the queue, suddenly those 5 people are gone, but the match is already underway. So I would like to just test removing the auto queuing to see if it helps some of this big imbalances we've seen. And then the other like sort of task I'd like to do is to change the amount of people who are matched, what we call it, the min required characters to start a match, so that during our lowest population times, matches start with fewer people, but then during prime time, the matches start more full because people tend to like more full matches. But if we don't start matches until they fill up in the lower parts of the day, people are going to queue forever, and it's going to be bad. So having some sort of thing where we can schedule, like basically the test we did over the weekend, but an automated system that does that so people get their fuller matches sooner.
Good. Number 6, progression beyond level 6.
So there's a lot of suggestions in here about much more content, and that's kind of tough for us to bring a bunch of content out quickly. But one thing we could do for progression beyond level 6 is like what Brent's talked about before, is the remort system, and that's or a prestige system where you could basically start over from fresh, but with probably a big XP bonus and some sort of title and probably some sort of cosmetic rewards for doing that. That's a way to put a lot more content in the game without adding a whole bunch of like all these other suggestions of special hero classes and extra stuff in the progression tree that requires us to like make a lot more content than like we're currently putting out.
Number 7, mastercrafted weapons rework.
Hey, it's one I'm actually working on.
Yay.
So I'm almost done with this. I would assume, if all goes well, that we'll be in the next patch sometime next week. The 100 LP cost across all mastercrafted weapons is now it's much lower. Oftentimes it's like just 10% of the cost of the weapon. I also lowered the LP cost of a great many weapons in the game that were seemed overcosted. There was a previous design philosophy that bolt guns should just be like the cheapest best, and then if you really want to use something like a Melta or whatever, you should pay a lot more for it, but that just means those weapons cost too much, and so I lowered the price on a lot of those and lowered also the mastercrafted along with it. So hopefully we'll see a lot more variety out there, and you guys will be able to make more interesting loadouts. On top of that, which is not related to the Mastercrafted stuff, but I'm already talking about loadouts, is Chan is messing with the trinkets a bit as well, because it's kind of boring to get one armor point or one health point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you've already got 150, it just didn't feel that great. So we're changing them to percentage, and that way it feels a bit better if you're going for like a health build, and then you can increase the health even more. It just it's going to be a bit nicer. And then also some of the timer-based ones, like armor regen, it was 3% increase, but 3% faster than 6 seconds is like hardly noticeable. So we're boosting those up to like 15%, so it's going to be about a second.
Mm-hmm.
So you can actually hopefully feel that you had fit that on your character. So
nice. Number 8 is daily and monthly missions or quests.
Yeah, I suppose that's the objective system that we're already working on.
Mm-hmm.
It's underway. We showed a little bit of it last week, and we'll be showing more as it progresses. So I don't know what else to really talk about, but it's cool that that's one of people's top 10.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We have an 8.5 for some reason.
Yeah.
Balanced melee and ranged revamped melee.
Yeah, so that was those two other
So they
lists.
do it,
We
yeah.
talked about it before. So
So, okay, we're good for that. So number 9, new elites and heroes and terminators.
wouldn't it be great?
Wouldn't it be?
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, yeah, I would love it. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
We want them, so.
And then number 10, additional options for PvP and PvE.
Yeah, Nathan has many times said PvP, PvE, so I can see why it makes it onto the list. Our old PvE team is no longer with us, so it's tough for us to do much great stuff with PvE like we could before when we had a pretty big group of people working on it. So I know they want more maps and more features and stuff, but it's not our highest priority anymore, but we'll...
But we'd still love to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can't just, like, people want random Tyranids spawning, so Tyranids can't just spawn into the other PvP maps because they're not built, like, to have pathing of AI and NPCs in them necessarily. So the PvE maps that we have were, specifically they have a pathfinding and whatnot for them. So we can't just add random Tyranid spawns, which would be cool, but it's just not, the system's not built that way to do it.
Right. The honorable mention is a garrison rework.
Yeah, would be cool. We're not doing it right now, but it would be nice that, and Nathan's whole hub and spoke kind of thing, and queuing from the garrison and having more sandbox in the garrison. It's definitely a thing we were interested in, want to do.
All right.
So that's our top 5 and top 10 lists. All right. How are we doing on time? Ooh,
we're doing pretty good.
Yeah,
okay, so we'll do
jam through all these questions.
yeah, so we'll do some Q&A and we'll do giveaways. The giveaways, unfortunately, I don't have the plugin installed, so we're going to do it old school today. So it's kind of random, kind of not random.
You just close your eyes and point.
I'll do my best, yes.
Okay.
But of course, DJ After always has giveaways that we hook him up with, so you can watch his stream after ours. Cool. Okay, so Ace Post wants to know what's happening with the Eldar campaign.
We are waiting to get the artist who will do the hero that will be part of the campaign. So it's just
waiting on resources.
Waiting on resources, yeah.
But it has not been scrapped, though.
No.
By any means.
So actually what will happen is, I don't know if there's other questions about campaigns in here. Oh yeah, there are more. But I was just going to say, we're going to do some of the sort of more classic campaigns where everybody has one, rather than their hero focused one. Probably be pretty generous with the Rogue Trader currency in it too. So.
Cool. Okay, so while we're doing a couple more questions, we will give away a relic pack. And for those they all know, but I just have to say it anyway. For those that don't know, you can't get it anymore. It's like a $150 pack with 8 weapons. So it's the only way to get it now.
And it comes with Litany of Wrath, and I was checking balance of weapons and whatnot, and no one's using Litany of Wrath. I think one guy, because I see all kills and deaths with all weapons, and I was just checking on the various balanced stuff, and such few Litany of Wrath involvement. But hopefully, as we lower the loadout costs and sort of boost the malls, maybe people will use it who have it. So.
Cool. Oh, I forgot to mention, actually, in the top 10 list, it didn't make the top 10, obviously, but people did mention glitter grenades. So thank you to those who mentioned it.
Nobody said anything about more pizza, though.
They did not, no. Glitter grenades above pizza.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, spam the chat, guys. We'll do it in Twitch only today. And I will randomly pick 2 winners for relic packs. Yes, exactly. Spam glitter pizza time. You got it. Okay, so the next question is from WCA Vola. Has the personal goal system progressed any, and if so, what exactly can we expect to see from it?
It has progressed. The back end is pretty much done, and the UI has started development. We don't have anything to show today, but as soon as we do have some stuff to show, we will. And what can we expect to see from it? I don't know. Maybe we should just wait until it's further along to show and talk about it then, rather than go into the whole episode about it.
This is really hard grabbing like someone randomly. Okay, our first winner is Brendan Hit _M. Congrats. I thought it said Hitman at first. So yeah, I'll write you on your Twitch account after the show and hook you up with your relic pack. Next one's from Xavier Light. How is the Elite Veteran rework progressing?
And I didn't really know where it comes from that we were doing any rework.
Right, yeah, I don't know.
So I don't know who said that. So it's not because...
It was a trick question.
Maybe.
To see.
Oh, yeah, maybe. They wanted it to happen, so they asked if it was. No.
Okay. Horace, will there be more customization for CSM?
Yeah, of course. More customization for everyone. When? I can't really say. I know people want the Mark III armor. So that is coming.
Cool.
Yeah.
I can never say his name, so your new name is now Bell.
Belphegor.
Yeah. Is there a time frame for the next campaign?
Yes. Yes, it's soon.
Soon. Like soon or soon TM?
Yeah, soon.
Soon.
Probably next week, right?
Oh, that's good. So yeah, speaking, you mentioned earlier the patch. You guys can keep spamming. I haven't picked the second winner yet. You mentioned that's next week. We don't know what day yet, but
yeah, I don't know what day, but shit's gonna hit the fan if we don't patch next week. So we're gonna patch next week.
Beautiful. Okay, so Kailnath, is there anything that the community can do to help? And he said, I would even proofread text if that would help, and I hate editing.
No, I think just log in, play, get your friends to play. I think with keeping the population numbers up helps us. So
if you haven't given the free key that we guys gave to all of your accounts to a friend, then that would help. Get some more people playing. Yeah,
there's the event this weekend that the players are doing.
That's
that
actually
kind of
stuff great time for the plug. So yeah, our community, a bunch of you have put together a Day of War campaign that's happening today, and the times I cannot remember because they're not in our time. It's 8 p.m. Central U.S. time. So they're doing a bunch of open war parties, and I actually tweeted out on Facebook and on Twitter, and if Asheru could put the link in, even though it's Spam Central right now, there'll be a link in the chat too. So if you guys can log in and play with that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And
so do that.
Okay, next question is from Jimo. What are the chances of getting some of the audio guys back on the project for a short time to at least fix the nastiest of audio bugs?
We do have Matthew is on the team. He's about 50%. So we're missing Ian these days, but
yes.
So we can still fix audio bugs. What I need you guys to do is make videos when you get the bugs, because we test the game every day, but we oftentimes play 3-on-3 in our tests, and so we don't get the same type of audio bugs when you play on live, and you get like many people. So, and also we maybe have different computer configurations than you do. So if you can make a video that has an audio bug, then Matthew can check it out and see if he can find out, what's going on. That would be the best way to get those.
It also
fixed.
doesn't help because I always have Spotify on when I'm playing. I shoot to like David Guetta. It's amazing. Yeah. Okay, so our second winner is Alpha Wolf BC. Congrats. And I appreciate all the glitter grenade spam going on right now. Okay. Look at that, 2:30 exactly.
Mm-hmm.
We're
we
amazing.
didn't. We didn't. Are we going to answer more questions?
We could. Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
I'm just saying.
I got time. Yeah.
Like this is how you do it. Okay. S'morecest wants to know, why are we not seeing chapter recolors that you can add and improve to at a later stage? It would be super easy and quick to. Sorry, it'd be a super easy and quick way to drag in a lot of RTC and money.
It's not super easy and quick. That's the thing.
But it seems like it would be.
Well, so the colors are easy, but the other chapters need their logos. We also probably need some user interface that would allow you to switch. It's more than just changing the colors of the people. So we have a couple logos for chapters that aren't in the game currently, but of course we would want to be fair to all the factions, and so there's art and integration and all. Yeah, there's more stuff than just swapping some colors out.
Mm-hmm. Kid Meatball, what is the time frame for objectives and personal goals?
We talked about that earlier. It's coming, so that's like a dupe question.
Okay. WFA via Virtus. I think.
Via Virtus.
Regarding personal objectives, I have a two-part question. I like how they sneak in an extra.
Yeah.
For the first batch, will some all mirror the Steam achievements, and if so, will they be granted retroactively, or will they need to be re-earned?
So they don't mirror the Steam achievements. They're different, and so that's basically the answer. No, they're not the same. They're more like do a certain amount of things that get you a certain type of XP, and you'll be rewarded for it. So
there's like a lot of pizza talk going on right now, and they know every time that they do that, I have like this crazy craving.
I'm already having pizza for dinner anyway. So
you're so lucky.
Yeah.
I'm going out for dinner because it's my friend's birthday, and they do not have pizza there. I looked at the menu. Now I'm gonna die. Thanks, guys. Thank you. I'm just checking if there's any questions in chat. I'm at over 500 hours. Can I have a relic pack? Maybe next time. Maybe if you hit like 1,500 hours. I have 1,200 hours in Left 4 Dead.
Wow. That's a lot.
That's a lot. It's like a lot of zombies. But that's another game, and I shouldn't be talking about it. Okay, Ostrom wants to know, is the option to queue for matches while in the garrison being worked on now?
No, not at the moment. It is not being worked on now. But we still like the idea, so.
Mainful. Okay, I can never say this word. Ever.
Scythe?
Thank you.
That is the word.
Your scythe? Scythe?
The Nurgle.
The Nurgle one.
Yeah.
When can we have it?
I'm not gonna say soon, but if we're messing with prices, and we're messing with buffing axe and mace and mauls, but we have them. So I've just been sort of waiting for the right time to finish integrating them all and release them. So I can't really say when, but yeah, we've got axes for every Chaos God eventually to put in there. But people don't like using axes right now, so we want them to be a thing that people want to use before we release stuff that people don't like using, but like how they look. So
makes sense. Asher wants to know, have you considered taking the headshot bonus away from smart weapons?
I hadn't considered it. So that was the question. No. But yeah, but he mentions that the only one that people don't use is the Eldar one because the damage is 20. But he fails to mention.
He said it meant to be 60.
He meant it to be 60 damage?
Or maybe he's talking about something else. I'm not too sure.
Yeah. No, he said 70 seconds. So no, he said the damage is 12, but he didn't mention the rate of fire, which makes the DPS similar to the other guns. So they're pretty dang similar. So I don't know why.
Okay. Negan Show wants to know, are we doing the Blood and Gore DLC?
Are we right now, or will we ever?
Either.
Hopefully
not
someday.
Right now.
Yeah,
not right now.
We're not doing it at the moment.
But I really freaking hope so for one day.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really. I'm like Team Gore, as you guys know.
Mm-hmm.
When will Blood Angels get their symbols on vehicles?
I suppose when everybody gets their symbols on vehicles, as soon as we finish up the rest of the art assets and do the UI for the pimped out vehicles.
Cool. A couple more?
Yeah, sure.
Anvil said, Nathan said you guys were working on systems. Aside from personal goals and vehicle templates, what could these systems lead to in theory?
So, in theory, they could lead to any sort of system, but really the point was not, I think that Nathan was trying to make, was not about the systems themselves, but rather the philosophy of building systems rather than building systems that are like extensible and can make a lot of content versus building one-off content. Like for instance, the game No Man's Sky, which people didn't necessarily, it didn't have the best reception, but the idea of making a procedural world with 5 trillion different systems, or solar systems you can go to, is the type of thing that I think we're talking about, where we build systems that make a lot of content, that can continue to make content, rather than, say, just a new map, which takes a lot of people and a lot of time and a lot of effort to make one chunk of content. If we would take the same amount of people working on systems that can be expanded upon, that's going to make a lot more content. So that's why with the small team that we currently have, we're focusing on systems rather than specifically building other kinds of content.
Kelnath1 wants to know if we're going to have flash grenades. And he said glitter grenades for Kate.
Well, I can't say no because you're sitting right here and you have a weapon, so.
So, possibly?
Oh yeah, of course.
But flash also?
I don't know, it would, of course, that takes a gameplay programmer and a VFX person and kind of a lot of people that we don't have.
So not anytime soon. But maybe. Okay. Sidechopsky wants to know, any updates on the status of the broken state of lunge and evade attacks?
Yeah, we covered that probably in the top 5 melee bit, so we are looking into it and we are going to try to fix the worst offenders of not being able to fire it off, but it is a complex system, but yeah, we would like to make it more reliable to fire off the sprint attack.
Okay. Somebody said, speaking of the team, how many people are you at the office? So the studio is like 300, I think.
Something like that. The bagel line today was like...
Higher? 350?
The line for bagels was long today, this morning, so yeah.
Yeah, but Matt the Hatter said Katie is always armed. Yes, you know me very well. But yeah, on the team we're pretty tiny.
Yeah.
What are we at now?
Let's see...
12, 15?
Something like it. Depends on who you count.
Right.
The people who check in stuff for the patch is about 6 people, but you're on the team and Nathan's on the team and we got other people on the team who do stuff too. So.
Right, but we're pretty small.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to do like one more?
Okay.
Okay, you can pick.
I can pick.
Yeah.
Oh,
but you wrote stuff for all of them. You want to just do them?
No. Let's just. Somebody want to know thoughts on the matchmaker experiment, and it seemed to go pretty well. We changed the amount of people who started the matches, but of course, like I was talking about earlier, we have more things we want to do. I'd like to maybe do the experiment again this weekend and see how it goes, but yeah, like I had mentioned earlier, we want to continue to improve on the system and not have imbalanced starting matches.
Okay, so I lied. We're going to do one more.
We're okay.
Wait, you done?
Sure.
You were done.
No, I can. There are only 2 more questions, so I could do them all.
Okay.
But the answers are boring because they're like both basically no. But I can do the question.
But we could also not tell them which ones are no now. We could just be mean like that.
Yeah, aren't these on the forums? So they can just go see the last 2 questions.
But they're not in order.
Oh, they're not.
No.
Oh, okay.
And they're not all of them.
And they're not all.
No.
Okay. Well, the rest of the questions on the forums are all no.
Oh. Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Will we ever be able to use all those awesome looking relic skins we purchased as founders as actual weapon skins?
So it's not planned to just copy and paste, because that's the rest of the question. It says, why don't you just copy and paste the looks onto them? So that's not planned, but I have been, and will finish probably later after this episode, rebalancing all of the costs on them. So you'll probably be able to fit them in your loadout now much easier than before, and the performance will be relative to the cost of it. So, yeah.
M-State Alchemist, are there any further plans for the garrison, or is it soon TM?
It's soon TM. I mean, of course, we've talked about plans, but we're not working on them today.
And the last one we'll do from chat from Mainfold. Will the Narthesium melee damage be drastically reduced since the class has a dedicated melee weapon option?
Will it be we don't plan to drastically reduce the...
Nope.
No?
Nope.
No?
That's easy for the last, 5. Okay.
Are we good?
We're good.
We're good.
So we'll see you next week. We can already tell you we will be here. So.
Yeah, you have to clap again.
All right, have a great weekend, guys.
See ya.
Cheers.